Annyeonghaseyo, I have returned. And yeah, it's been a while, huh? It actually hasn't been that long, but it feels like it has. Um, a ton of stuff has been released, you know what I mean? Because it just moves that quickly, right? Although I wasn't expecting, Twice to come back with two songs and videos already. That was actually very quick, very, very quick turnaround between I Got You and One Spark. And oh, there's so many things to check out too. Nmix Dash. Um, I think I don't think ITZY released anything else, but they're already like kicking off their next tour. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Also, you may have noticed I'm got a different look now, but I kind of like it. You know what I mean? So let's check out the latest from Twice. Well, no, not the latest, but the one before the latest, called I Got You. I've been looking forward to this.
I want the address, calling on dumb love, and it's just enough. Keep me guessing, have the story unfolds with you. When I'm walking into the darkness, I know you'll be right there, lighting up the flares. When it's falling, I will follow you to the moon. Hey, but I never fall apart, even a million miles apart. We were lightning from the start, and it keeps me going to know that. Ooh, no matter what, you got me, I got you, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Ooh, no trouble now, I know deep down that we'll make it through, just like we always do. Hey, every second, every minute, when you're close to me, like it's supposed to be, and no limit to what I would do for you. Oh, oh. You turn my whole world upside down, catch me before I ever hit the ground, and I do the same for you. Oh, oh. No, we never fall apart, even billion miles apart. We were lightning from the start, and it keeps me go to know that. Ooh, no matter what, you got me, I got you, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Ooh, no trouble down, I know deep down that we'll make it through, just like we always do.
Wow, what a good comeback, man. What a great comeback. Lots of things going on in there. Um, so blue is obviously like a, a color sort of theme for this song, right? But with its sort of ship at sea type of setting, but there's blue all throughout. You know, the some of the wardrobe, the flags in the field, some really nice locations in this video. Like some of these are like these are really really nice shots, man. The lighting's incredible, but there is like I'm picking up sort of a bluish kind of like filter over a lot of the different shots, you know. And some purple in there, so there's an animated sequence, you know, that kind of shifts more to like a purple, just a little bit darker. But the sound is full of energy and very like throwback, kind of like an 80s sort of vibe, right? What with the synth and the super punchy drum sound, right? Is that pad sound, that electronic drum sound. But really, really just very upbeat, has a great energy, you know? And it's so, I was waiting for like a bridge, you know what I mean? And it doesn't really have like a strong bridge. It has sort of a breakdown, but it does a wonderful job of just like maintaining the groove throughout. I'm guessing that like the album version, the sort of recording doesn't have the break in the song, right? Where Mina walks up to the out from below deck, right, on top of the ship, and so it kind of picks up with that vocal line there that has like a ton of reverb on it, and it sounds all swirly and kind of like spacey, right? But it's really really a great vibe. It's interesting, right? Because when you think of like where Twice is in their whole sort of arc as a group, you know, I mean they've come a long way, man. They're coming up on like the decade mark, you know, next year. So, man, they've been doing this for a while, and there's a like a feel good, you know, vibe that they're incorporating here, because they're still together after all this time, you know, and they still have like that strong, very like familial type of bond with each other. And it's a great, you know, visual representation, right? Because they're on the ship together, and that's something that they have to maintain, you know, as a group, right? And you see like these sort of scenes where it's a storm at sea, so it's very choppy and it's a little bit, you know, bumpy, right? Like the ride gets a little bit bumpy sometimes, and it's a little bit dark and it's a little bit difficult, and you're not really, you know, you can't guarantee, right? But they stay positive throughout it by, you know, by holding to that belief, that knowing that like, okay, I got you, right, by my side. Really, really quite an endearing sort of song, right? Like the concept for it. Man, it was, I saw something posted, I think it was a interview, right? An article with Jangyan, and she was saying how, you know, they won't be able to perform as a group like forever, that there will come a time when they kind of sort of branch off into their own, you know, directions. And man, you have to sort of be aware of like, again, they are about to hit the decade mark, and I'm not sure, because I didn't hear anything specifically about when they renewed the contract, like if it's for the same time, the same duration, but it gets you thinking, right? But at least they have this, you know, this perspective, or like this position on it, right? Where they're like, they're happy and they're still in it, you know what I mean? And it's really really nice to see, man. Okay, so let's check it out. We're definitely in 4, right? It's extremely upbeat tempo. It's not like, you know, screaming fast, but it definitely has like a nice pace to it. Right, so diegetic, noise, right? Wonderful like arpeggios that are going on, right? And then later on at the end of the song, this chord progression, you have it sounds like guitar arpeggios that are playing these chords. It has like it has a nostalgic type of sound to it, right? Like there's something. It's a little bit sweet. It's a little bit sad. It's very blue, right? Like it tonally, this matches like the color theme, and I think that's the reason for actually having that representation across both the visual and the audio.
A little reckless, around the edges, calling on dumb love, and it's just enough. Keep me guessing, have the story unfolds with you.
Li Chang.
Into the darkness, I know you'll be right there, lighting up the flares. When it's always, I will follow you to the moon.
Oh, very blue.
But we never fall apart, even million miles apart. We were lightning from the start, and it keeps me going to know that.
So again, super punchy percussion. We're definitely in 4, right? You got those snare hits coming in on the 2 and the 4. Very upbeat, right? And it's kind of like, it's interesting because the melody line in the vocal has its own definite groove that's going on, right? And so it's a super, like, it's a very dense percussive rhythm that's going on underneath this. But there's an awesome bass line too. When you, like, right at the beginning of the song, you know, once that bass line comes in, it's really cool. The sort of relationship between what the vocal melody is and what the bass is doing. And then, of course, the whole thing is driven by the percussive beats, right? Like that driving sort of rhythm. And it's very cool. But, like, for super punchy percussion and a fairly strong bass sound, it's rather narrow, like, in the mix. At least it sounds like this on YouTube, you know. Everything's a little bit bigger and a little bit fuller, like when you have just the audio files going on, because YouTube compresses the audio down so much. But there's a pretty narrow space that's actually being occupied by the bass sound, and the whole like the vocal has an incredibly soft feel to it. It gets a little bit rich, right? Like it kind of tapers down actually. And this sort of pre-chorus lines right here, there was a ton of compression. It got ramped up over like the percussion, you know, so the drums had that kind of muffled sound on it, right? And the vocal really came forward and took up a lot of that, like the front, you know, the upfront space in the mix. And it's going to get rich, like once this chorus section comes around. So, okay, there's drums, there's bass, there's some kind of keys sound in there. Like it could be more of a digital, you know, piano plug-in sound, but it's definitely like a left hand piano part, you know, that's really just chunking out the chords. I'm hearing mostly like whole note durations on that. But then, you know, Nayeon's delivery on the vocal melody line for the chorus, right? Very, very rich. Like that's a full voice. Like there's a little bit more breathiness, like in the verse sections. You know what I mean? Like Mina's lines were very soft, right? Like there was a very sort of like demure type of delivery on those. But when Nayeon comes in, she sort of matches the punchiness of the percussion and that driving rhythm by really like projecting all of that sound. Also, before the chorus part, it really stood out the backing vocals, right, and the harmonizations that are going on in the mix. What a great sort of layering of it, and it's not just like the sort of stack of voices, but you can tell that they have different production, tweaks here and there depending on what voice it is, whether they're panned left or right, the amount of reverb that's on it, the amount of compression, and it's kind of like that ethereal feeling, like there's one vocal melody line over the top that is very full and has that it has the mids sort of raised and sounds very like substantial, right? It's got a lot of body to it. But those backing vocals, the way that they're arranged, have all this sort of airiness to it, right? Like they sort of ring out in the space that's all around. And it's a very, very cool harmonization arrangement, you know what I mean? That was really interesting. And then here we have a shift also. They're going to ramp up the compression on the mix and then hit you with that diegetic noise so it feels like you're outside of the ship looking in, right?
Hey, every second,
the guitar.
every minute, when you're close to me like it's supposed to be, and no limit to what I would do for you.
Oh, singing.
You turn my whole world upside down, catch me before I ever hit the ground, and I'll do the same for you. No, we'll never fall apart, even billion miles apart. We were lightning from the start, and it keeps me go to know that.
Blue, right? Blue everywhere. Shift to the purple, right? But lots of blue all throughout all those shots up until here, right? And that sort of like soft diffused light type of effect on the ship interior parts. It's very sort of like dreamy, you know what I mean? And let's see. Oh, Chaeyoung had the guitar, right? Like that was hers. And it matches the color scheme, like with all the blues and everything, which I don't know. I mean, sometimes that just comes together, because she's had that since the Ready to Be tour had kicked off, right? And they decided to do the solo performances and everything. But just really fun to see it appear, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's sort of like an Easter egg. So like fans once knows, you know what I mean? Like what that is. And it's so Chaeyoung, right? Like it has that vibe, right? That she's at least been going for over the past year and a half or so. Singing, right? Like there was a little bit more rhythm or emphasis, right, when the second verse came in, but it wasn't like straight up rapping, you know what I mean? Like this song doesn't really, I mean, you could do it, Chaeyoung could do it, Taeyeon could do it, like Momo could do it, but this song doesn't really call for that. And it's actually really nice to just hear them sing, right? All these parts are so melodic, and it serves that emotional sort of quality of the song, because it already has enough of a driving rhythm, and it's very fun. The synth is actually very rich too. That's a very saturated sound, and so the melodic emphasis on all the vocal parts, right? That's really, really an endearing sort of touch, right? An endearing sort of approach to it. And it's almost like they are singing to each other, right? Like they're not really, like we're watching in, right? Like those shots, from outside the ship, looking in, sort of observing a scene that's going on. But this is a song that they're sharing with one another, right? And this whole concept and this whole message of like, we have each other, and so that's how we've made it through all of this so far. And, so we can like keep going, we can keep sailing and whatever happens, like, we'll be okay. Lots of hooks too, lots of hooks. The synth sort of licks that are going on, like, those are hooks in and of themselves. The drum rhythm also, that's a hook. The do part, like, that's a hook, right? It's very well written. And it has such a cool anachronistic quality to it, because it does sound like something from maybe the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, something like that. But it also sounds very new, very fresh and contemporary, what with the type of production behind, like, the mix sound and everything. So timeless, like, that's one of the feelings that is incorporated into the song, is this timelessness, as it applies to their friendship as well. Like, it's timeless, man. Like, it's always been that way, and it's always going to be that way. So it's very, very cool. Compression, underwater now, right? And then coming to the surface, it'll break. These arpeggios right here. Yeah, guitar, clean electric. Diegetic sound again. Okay, so they made it through the storm, right? And now on the other side, they come out and they see the sun, right? Everything's calm. So the vocal comes in alone. Ton of reverb on it. Big wall of sound. The whole mix comes in all at once. Blue, still, lots of blue. Oh man, what a sweet comeback, dude. What a sweet, sweet comeback. And I guess the whole, like, With Youth album concept, like, they're, oh, you know what, in a way, this feels like they are sort of saying goodbye to their younger selves. You know what I mean? Like, they're acknowledging the fact that they all started, almost 10 years ago. And, like, that sort of leans into that nostalgic, kind of bittersweet. It's kind of sweet, but it's kind of sad at the same time, because they realize that, like, all this time has passed. But it's cool, because they're aware of it, and they're they know who they are, right? They know themselves, they know each other, so they're prepared for whatever the next chapter is, right? Like, whatever that next saga, right, to unfold, like, where it goes from here. And yeah, everything sort of matches that type of idea, right? They are, like, the ship is sailing off to some other destination, right? Like, obviously they came from somewhere, right? They didn't start on the ship, but it's taking them somewhere else. So this is acknowledging that transition from, okay, we were young when we started this out, but, now, we've definitely, like, all those years have passed, and so we're moving forward. And I think, it's just all about, like, maintaining that relationship and that friendship, and whatever happens, everything will be okay. Very, very cool, man. Very, very cool. Certainly for once, like, for fans and everything. Yeah, this is very endearing. It's a very, very wonderful song from Twice. And man, it's going to be something when they if they ever decide to, like, sort of branch off in different directions. I kind of hope that they'll be around for a long time, like maybe in the way that like Girls' Generation or something, you know what I mean? Like that they don't have to keep working and producing new albums and songs at the same pace, right? Especially as like when they started out, because my goodness, their discography is like massive, like it's insane, right? The amount of work that they've done just in that one first contract period, right? It was so many songs, so many albums, so many tours. That's a grueling pace to keep up, man. And when you consider everything that goes into it, like choreography, demands, the vocal work, the recordings, the live performances, like that's a lot, dude. That's a lot. That's a ton. But they did it, and it very cool stuff. It's a great track. It's so good. It's got that timeless quality. It's super clean. Very, very nice use of, those production elements like compression and reverb and, the way that those vocal harmonies are arranged and sort of layered and create that deep sort of feeling. It's deep, but it's soft. That's the thing I noticed about it too. It's just right at the first verse, as it approaches the chorus, you can really hear the way these harmonies are done, and it's very, very specific. But again, great throwback sounds, right? The sort of rich synth sounds that are giving you your sort of instrumental theme, and that driving percussion. The bass is smart, is super smart, dude. The way the bass line in this is written is very, very good, and oh man, it's a fantastic mix. Great melodies. The singing, dude, they're just singing to each other, and it's beautiful. Oh man, that was so good. Twice, I Got You. It's a good message. It's a great message. I think it's appropriate for so many reasons, Okay. It really makes you think, like, it really makes you like look back on everything right up until now, and very well executed, man, because that was exactly the point, is to give you this song and this video and sort of make you like stop and think about everything up until now. And it's great, man. It's great. What a comeback. Like I don't think for the group, right, for Twice themselves, I don't think you could have done a better comeback than this. It's different from Ready to Be. Ready to Be was very strong, right? Like it was powerful, so a lot of like intent, resolve, like, intention behind that comeback, and the album itself too. Like if you listen to every song on there, there's just a lot of power and energy behind all of those tracks. And this is it's a little bit softer, but acknowledging that sort of progression of time and all the experience that is had, and like the value that it actually represents. I think that's like, this is a perfect comeback for that type of concept, for that type of meaning. Oh man, that's great. It's really making me think about like everything up until now. Wow, it's incredible. It was good. It was good. It was great to see him. Man, it was fun. It was fun. Twice, I Got You.